recruit event because they decided they were going to do TOS Starfleet. By the way, we haven't gotten TOS Romulan Republic or TOS KDF yet. It would be nice. I know, but it would be nice. Anyways, let's take a look here. So, TOS recruit, he has a team of officers that look like TOS characters. However, one of two, 718, Sislul, and Chantel. You may have guessed by now that one of these is a liberated Borg, another one is this android type guy, and then we have the two Delta Ops intel people. I know, it's not exactly a creative team setup. Whatever, I thought it was fun. Again, this is one of those things where I kind of sort of threw together a team when I was first making this character, and this is just what I happened to have laying around at the time, I think. It's not the first bridge officers this character had, but... Well, okay. Not on second thought. 3 of them actually are. I know I had the Delta Ops pack because I got the Delta Ops pack the first week it was added to the game. And the Borg Bridge Officer here, that's a pre-order bonus that I've literally had since I started playing the game. So every single Federation character I have has one of her because I actually got her the first time when my first character was still doing the tutorial, and I was at a stage in the tutorial when, in theory, you're not supposed to have a bridge officer, and I had her following me around helping. Fun story. Anyways, moving on. So, what do these guys do? They have a science temporal, an engineer miracle worker, and these two guys who are intel. So let's look at his gear first. Random junk. Random junk is what I wish I could say about this, but there's something about it that's weird. That is the fact that it has a value of 0. This is keyed as a starter item. I think this is actually a body armor that I got as one of the temporal operative rewards. Because again, this is a recruit character from the TOS recruitment event. This, I think, is actually one of the gear items that you get given as part of that. Yeah, Jim had our personal shield, Mark 15. Yeah, that's a story mission. Vorgon Tetrian Discharge Prism, again, that's a story. Why are these at Mark 14? Because I haven't upgraded this guy's gear since Mark 14 was the max level. Okay, so let's look at his traits and skills. He actually does have interesting traits, because Android, which gives you all of these resistances, and a healing resistance, which is not great, but hey, it's a downside. It's like he has... Oh, also, it's like the bonus melee damage is interesting and something worth considering when using this bridge officer, because much like the physical strength thing you see on Romulans, it does affect your ability to use physical melee weapons. Notice how the small version here says bonus melee damage and the large version says bonus physical damage. I'm genuinely not sure what this actually buffs. It might be something that requires physical melee, but I'm not 100% sure. That's a thing to ponder test if you are using this bridge officer. This is one of those things that was a special giveaway at some point. I don't remember exactly what or why. But it was one of those things where I had to redeem an ARC code to get it, but I just don't remember how they gave out the ARC code. I think. I'm not even sure if it was an ARC code. It's been years. Because 0718 is a character from the Kelvin Timeline movies, so it was in some way related to that. Anyway, so radiation, toxic, and psionic damage resistance rating are huge. Confused resistance rating is also huge, and he is immune to placate. All of those are nice things. Like, there's a lot of advantages here. Like, the damage resistance rating thing actually, the way this stacks with armor, this really doesn't do a whole lot. Radiation, toxic, and psionic, you might have armor or shields even that give you resistances to those. So this, actually, plus 200 is going to massively outclass any armor or shield. Unless it's the anti-Davidian shield, because the anti-Davidian shield, instead of giving you a resistance rating, flat up reduces by a percentage. But it reduces psionic by a percentage, so yeah. That would actually stack with this, though. Reducing by a percentage and then having damage resistance rating. Yeah, that stacks. Oh. Anyways. Self-revive, yeah. It has a 10-minute internal cooldown, but hey, it's useful. Superior Q assist is superior creativity. Both of those are useful on bridge officers. Anyway, so what am I having him use right now? Tech and Harmonic, Electrogravitic Field, which don't give stasis field to bridge officers. Why? Because it's a fragile hold. If the bridge officer that uses stasis field is smart enough to hold their fire on the target, that doesn't mean the other bridge officers will. A lot of the time, the bridge officer that uses stasis field, the target of that stasis field will get hit by something. What? There's a long list of things that could be hit by. This is also the reason why I don't personally use stasis field as a captain. It's because I've come to expect anything you hit with a stasis field to get unhit with a stasis field by weapons fire. So, don't use it. Chronometric diffusion. This is the one where it forces your enemies to hold into a group, and hyperonic radiation just zap them, and now everyone's dying of radiation exposure. Good stuff. And things that even if the bridge officer doesn't necessarily choose the best target, they'll choose a target that at least accomplishes something. One of two. Again, pre-order board. I decided to give her the 7 of Vine guns because I had nothing better to do with them. Also, because Borg have innate regen, I decided... I've done this on several characters, but giving the Newtonium-laced combat armor to a character that has some sort of innate regeneration ability is quite good. Personal covariant shield. Again, Borg have innate shield regeneration, so the fact that this doesn't regenerate or squat is actually kind of fine. I have no idea who is doing that weird blunky thing. Guess it wasn't someone. Anyway. So, traits. Like I said, efficient, resilient, superior Borg nanites, superior neuroblast. Skills. This character, because she's a miracle worker, I decided to actually use miracle worker skills. Reroute power to shields isn't necessarily great, but it's what she's currently doing. Visor emulation overlay. Bonus ranged weapon damage is not a bad thing to give bridge officers, at least if they're doing a ranged weapon damage build. And she's actually using an overload power cell, so, I think I will actually give her that. She summoned a turret, sometimes throw a regenerative nanite canister, and then use 2 things to give herself bonuses to ranged weapon damage. Not what I normally do with Borg bridge officers, but hey, variety's the spice of life or something, I guess. Regenerative nanite canister is actually something that is very good to give to bridge officers for much the same reason the medical tricorder is. They will reflexively use it when they see that someone needs healing. It's like, oh, hey, one of my friends is hurt. Bonk. Okay, now he has medical nanites fixing him. Jaboo. Bridge officers are actually very good at using this ability. Again, like I keep saying with turrets, they just throw them down wherever they enter combat and don't really pay a whole lot of attention to it. However, this usually means that the bridge officers will place them someplace where they're close enough to enemies to shoot at enemies. Usually. So that's not terrible. Alright, so, Chantel. Yeah, this is the same skill setup. I've looked at this on a different character. Because the Federation side Intel Bridge officers are the same for TOS characters as for regular Starfleet. So it doesn't really matter. This is basically the same bridge officer the other characters use. This bridge officer, however, has... Yeah, she came with frictionless particle grenade, and I don't hate it. So I decided to leave her keep it on both of these characters. Tactical EMP bombard. I don't actually personally consider this to be a particularly good skill. In part because of the way that it does damage. And by the way that it does damage, I mean that it's more of a disable against most enemies than it is an actual, offensive ability. Like, yes, it talks about how it does damage. However, it has the caveat, only to mechanical things. That's kind of a problem. Let's see. Okay. And then we have target optics and lunge. This character is not set up as a melee character, so having lunge is actually kind of iffy. I know I trained that too because it's not a default ability. You know what? I'm gonna see what else I have. Let's see. Lunge, no. Lunge, also no. Haley, motion accelerator, also no. This is actually worse because the fact that motion accelerator doesn't even do damage to the enemy. It just buffs you and makes you run faster and do more melee damage. Motion accelerator, then lunge is actually pretty snazzy. Plasma grenade. Oh, I know why I didn't do this earlier. It's because the plasma grenade is actually something that I can just buy at the vendor. Anyway, though, other than the lunge, this is actually good. Ah, man, I'm getting tired. I do want to replace the lunge with something that would be better, but a plasma grenade, no. It should be a buff ability of some sort. There's an idea. Jay. Events. Event store. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the skill manuals for. I don't remember them having any good skills you can give to bridge officers, but yeah, like these are kit modules. Or they did add some training manuals that are tactical. Oh, you know what? I could get for Grethor's chains. Oh. Aw. Spicy. That would actually be pretty good. Hmm. Wait, hold it. No, no, no. This is a yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a tactical ability. Hmm. Well, to be honest, an 8.5-second recharge. This is actually what makes it a useful skill. Let's see what else we have. Microcryonic warhead. Hmm. That's actually not terrible either. Hmm. Why is it? Anyways, let's draw 15 of each of the common quality. Yeah, this is the reason why I have so many of the greens. It's like most of the things that I actually do multiples of don't use greens. Okay, then. So now we go back into the event store. Winter event. Okay, so let's double check to make sure what the rank I wanted this was. Make sure. Right. Okay. Ready then. This is interesting because exothermic reduction or redistribution is actually an instant rank ability. Hmm. Yeah, because microchronic warhead uh, is lieutenant. That's lieutenant. That's lieutenant. That's lieutenant. That's lieutenant. That's lieutenant. Exothermic redistribution is the only one that starts as an instant ability. Interesting. Quite frankly, though, if I needed an random instant ability, I would on most cases go with medical tricorder because it's spammable and it's useful like that. Anyway, so go through a shade. Uh it's okay. I think I'd rather have a buff ability, but whatever. I already get this. Yes, honestly, like ambush might be better. Interface decay again. It's one of those things that's a really short recharge time, so the fact that it's a single target actually isn't a big deal. And the secondary effect that causes an explosion, well, if that actually triggers, that is an AoE. That's nice. Photonic decoy, those are hilarious. Sonic pulse and receive tactics. Yeah. Okay then. So this guy's pretty awesome. Moving on. Next is the Jem'Hadar guy. Note how I'm not using any of the tutorial bridge officers for the Jem'Hadar because all of the tutorial bridge officers as a Jem'Hadar are Jem'Hadar.